Papa John is up there, and the official starting spot is somewhere between those two white lines. They got to be ready to go, and Gary Folk Jr., our head starter, eyeing them up. And the green drops for the first time here on Saturday night. Tyler Ripkema skating around top side, and he's going to lead the field into turn number 3. Tony Hanberry trying to inch his way up alongside the 77 of Johnson. And TJ Zacharias spins up there in turn number 4. Caution will come out. One lap of 8 complete. Not quite so easy for Tony this time. Tyler learned a little bit last week. Looks like Tony's car may have just a little bit more juice under the hood, but they are running side by side off turn number 4. At the stripe, Hanberry has it by about 2 feet. And around goes Zacharias again up here, this time between 1 and 2. Well, let's see if we can put down some green flag laps here, consecutive that is. Two complete of 8. And Ripkema leading the way. The freight train rolling through turns 3 and 4. Jeff Frisbee up into 3rd position, Tom Shiner 4th, then it's Paul Johnson, TJ Zacharias, and Clemens. The race is for position number 1. And look at Tony Hanberry, dove down to the inside, but he ran out of time. Into the second half of this heat race now. 5 laps complete, 3 remain. Tony looks like he's trying to get a run off turn number 2, and he wants to go the same piece of racetrack that Tyler Ripkema is occupying. And this time by, it's 2 to go. Tony experimenting a little bit with that outer groove, which has seen some action in the first couple weeks of the program here. Some have ventured out there and made it work. Others have ventured out there and lost positions. Tyler Ripkema getting the white flag. Jeff Frisbee right there in 3rd. Shiner and Johnson 4th and 5th. And the field comes off turn number 4. Tyler Ripkema picking up the heat win. Well, a career first checkered flag for Tyler Ripkema. His teammate right behind him. Give him a little congratulatory tap over there in turn number 3. And the green has fallen on heat number 2 for the Sportsman Modifieds. And Jody Buckley getting in that loose stuff. And he has lost 3 positions, falling back there to 4th or 5th. Jimmy Zacharias trailing Zach Curran. He's going to take a peek to the inside. Zach is going to slam the door, I do believe, on him over there in 3. Jimmy with the inside lane now off turn number 2. Zach is going to give him the room he needs, but he's going to try and stay with him through the corners. Zacharias taking over the top spot off turn number 2. Well, they're not separated by much. About 3 or 4 inches was all that separated the lead two. John Wilbur there in third, Jody Buckley fourth. Michaela Ripkema some distance back in fifth as Clements has pulled out of the event. Next time by, it'll be 2 laps to go. Gary Folk getting ready for the parallel sticks. John Wilbur trying to make a late race charge. And it is Zacharias by about 2 car lengths over Zach Curran. And Wilbur has closed the gap somewhat that had existed between him and Zach Curran. And white flag this time by for Jimmy Zacharias, Zach Curran, John Wilbur, and Jody Buckley. Off turn number 4 for the final time, and Jimmy Zacharias picking up the heat win. Zach Curran finishing second, then it's John Wilbur, Jody Buckley, and Michaela Ripkema. And the 4 cylinders underway, and Brandon Amy getting a good jump on the start. And he got around the 94 Frank Morich, who's right there behind him, about a car length back in second. Then it's Jeff Amy and Dayton Cody. And Morich keeping it a race. It's a car length, if that. It widens just a bit over there in turn number 3. And Morich again closing the gap over there as they go through 3 and 4. And this time by, the sticks are crossed, 3 down, 3 remain. And 2 laps remain, as I mentioned, in the point standings anyway. It's 173 for the 10 of Brandon Amy and 172 for the 94 of Frank Morich, separated by a point and separated by a car length as we run this 6-lap qualifier. This time by, Brandon Amy will take the white flag. Morich the meat and the old Amy sandwich down the back stretch. And off turn number 4, checkered flag coming out, and the hand is out the window. Brandon Amy picking up the heat win over Frank Morich, Jeff Amy, and Dayton Cody. And our field picking up the pace a bit, and watching our flagger green is out. Whoa! Talk about threading the needle. Jeff Goodwin's right there trying to thread the needle, but the eye of the needle isn't quite wide enough. Chris Zacharias trying to make some room on the low side. Little bit of contact with Brad Knapp. I don't know who Gary Folk's going to yell at, but he's mad at all of them. Chris Conrad leading lap number 1. Then I don't know why they're going 3 wide, but they are. Jeff Goodwin clearing that mess. Chris Zacharias and his brother RJ running side by side. Chris getting into the back of the Goodwin machine and turning him around up there in turn number 4. Everybody eager to get to that start/restart line up there in 3 and 4. And I don't know that Gary's going to like that one. One thing about Gary Folk Jr., I've worked with him long enough to know when that flag does not wave aggressively, he's going to throw out the yellow. Well, he waves it, but once again, the 6 got a jump on the 26. However, he's had some motor issues, so let it go, I guess. Here comes Goodwin to the inside. He clears the nap machine. He's up alongside the R.J. Zacharias, number 71. Right behind him comes Chris Zacharias in car number 7. So at lap number 2, yowza, R.J., yikes. Not sure how he pulled that off, but he did. R.J. Zacharias will lead lap number 3 with Goodwin running in second, Chris Zacharias in third. Now in the first round of hot laps, Chris got on that outer lane up there, which didn't have much rubber on it after the rain, and his car bobbled quite a bit. He's out there and alongside Goodwin now, and it looks like he's making it work. And he's going to take over second spot. Goodwin sits in third. Jeff getting a little bit of an advantage off turn number 2. And Brad Knapp doesn't look good for car number 26. A lot of smoke coming out of the machine, and he is well off the pace. Onto the grass on the backstretch as close as he could without putting any oil or anything. But we have 3 laps to go. R.J. Zacharias and Jeff Goodwin in row number 1. Chris Zacharias and Chris Conrad in the second row. Goodwin trying to make that outside work for him. They're side by side at 3. And it's shifting just a little bit. Chris Zacharias trying to get in there and have some of that fun. 2 laps to go. Continuing to swap some of that red paint over there in 1 and 2. And this time by, it's RJ, Jeff, and Chris. Jeff Goodwin, the meat and the Zacharias sandwich, if you will. And Jeff is taking a peek over there in 3. RJ's going to slam the door on him. And it's all about turn number 4 in this front stretch. And RJ Zacharias will pick up the win. Jeff Goodwin second, Chris Zacharias, Jake Snell, and Chris Conrad. Well, we'll see if we can get a nice clean start with this bunch of racers in our second and final street stock event. The brothers Sharpstein trying to give each other a little assist into turn number 1. They do. And Charlie will lead Gil off turn number 2. Okay, that's enough pushing for you, Charlie. Guy Summers right now running in third. Then it's Dusty Snell. '99 of Bob Ripley was scheduled for heat race number 1, but he is out there racing in this one right now in 5th, but heavily pursued by Lee Sharpstein, who clears both him and the 31. The Nichols machine. Charlie Sharpstein leader at lap number 2. Dusty Snell to the inside. And Dusty taking over third, but Lee Sharpstein's right there in fourth. Second spot held by Gil Sharpstein. Well, that's what Mama and Papa Sharpstein like to see. Their 3 sons running first, second, and third. Just the way they finished in the point standings, and we are under caution. And so far this year, it has been car number 8 that has been the most stout of the 3. The other guys would certainly like to put an end to that domination of their younger brother. But he goes underneath the Gil Sharpstein machine and looks like he's taking a peek to the outside of Charlie. And we now reach the halfway point. Lee to the outside. And they're side by side off turn number 4. Certainly car number 8 has some magic involved that the other two just quite lack this year a little bit. And Lee off the pace. Maybe it was black magic, not sure. And it looks like Lee is heading for the pits. Good run being turned in by Mike Nichols in car number 31 with 2 laps to go. And this time by Charlie Sharpstein will take the white flag. Gill hanging on to second spot. Nichols in third. Bob Ripley in fourth. Dusty Snell fifth. Well, it almost had to be one of them. And in this one, it's Charlie Sharpstein picking up the win. Gil Sharpstein finishing second. Third going to the 31 of Mike Nichols. Then it's Bob Ripley, Dusty Snell, and Guy Summers. And the green coming out on our 8-lap ASA late model heat race. Scott Nurmi leading the way with Jerry Deneen running second. It's side by side for third with Jim Lamoureux and Joe Brown. Here comes Travis Fisher. 3 former track champions running together in third, fourth, and fifth. Deneen takes a look to the inside of Nurmi off turn number 2, not quite finding what he wanted to see. Scott Nurmi continues to lead. The top 5 rolling across the stripe pretty much nose to tail. Billy Coyle running in 6th and Arthofer in 7th. Travis Fisher looking to take 4th from Joe Brown. And the sticks are crossed in the air this time by. Lap 4 will go up on the scoreboard with 4 remaining. And it looks like Travis Fisher found a little bit of racing room. Joe Brown went a little high over there in 3 and 4. And he gives Travis the room he was looking for. Travis Fisher up to 4th. Joe Brown back to 5th. Deneen looking high, looking low, not finding anything to get around the 20 of Nurmi with 2 laps to go. Looks like Joe Brown may have lost a little bit of the momentum he had in the first part of this event, as he is now some distance back from the Plum Air number 8 of Fisher. Down the back straightaway for the final time in our final heat race tonight. And Scott Nurmi from green to checker will pick up the heat win. Deneen finishing second, then it's Lamoureux, Fisher, Brown, Coyle, and Arthofer. And the green is out for the 4-cylinder feature. And Brandon Amy, the first to turn number 1. Frank Moritz trying to stay with him. This is how they ran in their heat race. with Dayton Cody. It sounds like something not fired quite right on the 49. Brandon Amy trying to match his younger brother's performance here and pick up his second win. Frank Morich trying to spoil the Amy show. They've taken all the hardware home this year. And lap number 2 goes up on the board. Frank is inching closer and closer. Not quite ready to step outside, but yeah, it looks like he might off turn number 2, but that's going to open up the inside. And Jeff Amy is right there in the 10X, coming closer and closer to the 94. Dayton Cody's car sounds okay. It's just not quite as powerful as the other 3. This is basically how they ran last week, only flipped the 210s. Frank Morich trying to do some offensive driving while protecting his spot from Jeff Amy, who is right there. Every time he steps out, Jeff is right there looking. And 5 laps have been completed. We have reached the halfway point. Morich trying to use that outside lane. And Jeff Amy getting a little bit loose up there. And this time, Jeff trying to get a run off the second corner. He's to the inside. Frank Morich still on that outside. Jeff Amy backs off just a bit. Sportsman, we need you to the staging area. Sportsman, you are up next. This one's almost over. Sportsman, we need you to the staging area. This time by, the sticks are in the air. There'll be parallel sticks as they pass by with 2 laps to go. The Amy boys have both told about trying different gears and experimenting with things on the car to get them humming perfectly. And well, you got 3 cars here. There's parity in this class for sure. White flag. 1 more half mile for Brandon Amy to take home another piece of hardware. Less than a car length, the entrance to turn number 3. And they come off turn number 4. Brandon Amy will pick up his second win of the season. Frank Morich finishing second. Then it's Jeff Amy and Dayton Cody. Car waving the flag, trophy on top, right where it should be. So I think you had one goal in mind tonight, and that was to match your brother and pick up his second win. But you guys, the 3 of you, put on a heck of a race.
Yeah, that's what it's all about, is putting on a show for you guys. Yeah, I did want to match my brother, and I think I did that. So we'll see what happens next week.
Did you know that Frank was as close as he was? He had it get down to like the nose of the car, almost inside you, but you just couldn't find the room.
Well, no, I didn't know he was there. I mean, I could hear a car. I didn't know who it was, but, you know, it's a real good close race with all of us out there, and that's what matters.
Team Amy, undefeated here. I guess your dad and mom are happy with what you guys are doing this year.
Yeah, they really are, and it's special this weekend because it's my mom's birthday, so happy birthday, Mom.
Well, you guys have given her some good gifts. Others you want to thank?
I want to thank all my friends and family, and Jody Buckley, he helps us out with a truck and trailer. My buddy Randy Bauman, they help us out a lot over the week. So, again, just all my friends and family and everybody that comes out here and supports us.
2 feature wins, point leader, enjoy your moment. Brandon Amy, our winner. Set to go here for the 25-lap Sportsman Modified feature. And it's going to be Tyler from the outside. Tyler Ripkema leading sister Michaela. On lap number 1, Tony Hanberry is on the inside of the 9 machine, and a little tire touch, and that opens some room for Zach Curran. Now the 94 up to 3rd. Here comes John Wilbur in the 4. Wilbur up to 4th in car number 4, as Tony Hanberry has taken over the top spot. Zach Curran down to the inside of Tyler Ripkema, not quite finding enough room. It's Hanberry, Tyler Ripkema, Zach Curran. He looks like he wants to get a run to the outside off turn number 2 down the back straightaway. And along comes John Wilbur on the inside. You go out, you got to protect in, and it's hard to do both. Wilbur still running in 4th. Jimmy Zacharias, the red and gold machine, in position number 5 right now. Zacharias out there putting some rubber down on that outer lane. Michaela Ripkema right now in 6th. Then it's Jody Buckley in 7th. Paul Johnson. And John Wilbur getting the run and looks to the inside. He bobbles a bit between 1 and 2. Loses 1 spot, 2 spots, 3 spots, and may lose the 4th one before it's all over. Right now, Zach Curran up alongside Tyler Ripkema. Tyler still holding down position 2. Zach Curran in 3rd. Jimmy Zacharias right there now in the 4th position. Zach Curran staying committed on that outside as we have caution. Paul Johnson spinning here, and I know he'd like to park in victory lane, but certainly after the 25th lap, not after the 7th. And the green is back out. This time the inside lane, the place to be. Zach Curran is right there, making room. Tony Hanberry's going to give him the room. They touch tires. Tony still leads at the stripe. Zach has to correct, and how he kept that car going in the right direction, I don't know. But along comes the 71, and we are under caution. Wow, what a drive by Zach Curran. Caution coming out for Amy Catalano in car number 54. And Tony Hanberry up to his game on this restart. And he's going to have some pressure momentarily from the 71 as Tyler Ripkema tries to slip underneath the 94 Curran in a battle for 3rd. Has the position at the stripe. Curran now following in the tire tracks of Jimmy Zacharias, and Curran slowing over there in turn number 2. While the battle is on for the top spot between Tony Hanberry and Jimmy Zacharias. Hanberry has it, as lap number 10 gets put up on the board. Hanbury continues to lead. And it's a car length as they put lap number 12 up on the board, 1 lap short of the halfway point here. Tyler Ripkema continues to hold down 3rd spot ahead of the 20 of Buckley. Then it's John Wilbur in 5th, Jeff Frisbee rounding out that first group of 6 at the halfway point. This time Tom Catalano looks to the inside of the 9 of Ripkema, not quite finding the race room he needs. And he's going to get a run off turn number 2 down the back straightaway. And that will be a battle for position number 7. Catalano, Tom, up to 7th. And around goes Amy up there in turn number 4. Who's it going to be? Who's going to get there first? Good, clean start up there in turn number 4 at the stripe. Nearly even. And it looked like Jimmy ignited the jet fuel to put him out there just about a foot in front of Hanbury. But he has not made the pass yet. Tony Hanbury's going to lead lap number 15. Jimmy staying back there in 2nd. 3rd is now John Wilbur, who got around the deuce. Tony Hanbury still our leader. It could be the battle of the gold and the silver as Jimmy Zacharias is out in that outer groove and the chrome machine of John Wilbur trying to take over position number 2. That could shape up to be the battle. Jeff Frisbee running in the 4th position. And trouble on the front stretch here is Paul Johnson, Amy Catalano, and Michaela Ripkema. Not a good night for the Ripkemas, but an especially bad night now for Paul Johnson in the 77. And our field picks up the pace, reaches turn number 4, green is out. And nearly side by side as they hit turn number 1, off turn number 2, sparks flying underneath the lightning machine of Tony Hanbury. Tony the first to turn 3 as the Zacharias 71 committed to that outside lane. And the battle of the silver and the gold returns as John Wilbur has a shot at taking over 2nd from Jimmy Zacharias. Wilbur in 2nd with Hanbury on the outside. Hanbury now with the advantage off turn number 4. And Jimmy trying to get a run, frees himself from the 4 of Wilbur. The hand is in the air from our starter, Gary Folk Jr., the high 5 coming down to 5 laps. Once again, Tony Hanbury has opened up that inside lane for John Wilbur. He's trying to muster up what he needs to stay with and hopefully pass the 71. Hanbury again, our race leader, Jimmy, looking to the top side. Sneaks back in. He's going to try and do the old switcheroo, the outside-inside maneuver. Tony's going to slam the door on that thing over in turn number 3. Jimmy now peeks to the inside, goes back topside. He's going to flat side his tires with all this inside-outside stuff, but he's got a pretty good shot right now They're side by side in turn number 3. Wilbur right there in third with 2 laps to go. These two have entertained us the last several years here in the Southern Tier and in any racetrack. Either one happens to park. And John Wilbur, many, many times the runner-up for championships. And right now in a position to be the third place finisher here. Last time around, white flag displayed. Jimmy's going to give it one last try up on the high side. Hanbury to the low side. They go into turn number 3 and off turn number 4. Who is going to get there first? Well, we got junk. Well, I'll tell you what, there's exciting finishes, and we had one here tonight. You didn't lead but more than about 10 feet of that one, Jimmy, but it's all what happens when the checkered flag falls.
Yeah. Whew. Coming from the back, I knew I had my work cut out. Everybody was a little bit off tonight, and this car's never been off. I got to Tony, and me and him were racing hard to hard. It's always been that way with me and him. We bump, we rub. I got the better run on the outside of him, and he must not have liked it too much, and frickin' never lifted. And I went down that front stretch all the way sideways, and I knew I beat him across.
Well, you beat him across. You collected a few others down there, but every time earlier in the event, every time you went to that outside, John Wilbur was right there. So how worried were you to go after first and protect second?
I'm not racing for points. I don't care about second. I'm here to win. Once I got to the outside, Tony, like I said, I knew it was going to be hard. He didn't give me any room, and I thought I gave him plenty of room, but I got underneath him going down the back stretch a couple times, and all of a sudden his car jerked to the left, jerked to the right, whatever, which way I was. That's where his car went.
Jimmy, a little bit of a controversial finish here tonight. You've not ended in controversy here many times before, so let's put that behind us and thank who you want to thank.
Yeah, it never ends good here for me. A lot of people don't like me because I win a lot. I guess that's their own problem, but there is people up there cheering, so I must be doing something right. Either way, if they're booing, cheer, give me the finger, give me a thumbs up. I know I'm doing something right.
You want people to thank and sponsors. Come on, you got to thank Mom and Dad and your brother.
Yeah, Mom, Dad, Grandpa, Grandma, my brother, Kristen, Garrett, my girlfriend, Amy. Just everybody. Without my dad and Mom and Grandpa and Grandma, I wouldn't be doing this, but
Well, a lot of us are glad you are. It's going to be controversial, but it's your moment. Jimmy Zacharias, the winner. up the pace in turn number 4. And once again, the green machine flying to the green flag. And I guess our flagger, Gary Folk Jr., is going to let this one stick as Charlie Sharpstein comes up alongside. Charlie's going to lead the first lap of this one with Conrad falling back to second. Battle on for third. Dusty Snell is there, right behind him. The battle is for fourth. Chris Zacharias clearing the Mike Nichols, number 31, and Zacharias now to the outside of Dusty Snell. Zacharias now up to third, Snell back to fourth. And Bob Ripley up in the loose stuff up there between 1 and 2. Look at this, 4 across on the backstretch, 4 across. Gil Sharpstein backed off, but nobody else did. Caution coming out for Lee Sharpstein. Remember, he had problems in his heat race today. Didn't finish his heat race, and now he is stopped here on the front stretch. And our field picking up the pace, reaching that starting line there between off turn 4. And Charlie Sharpstein was going to bring Chris Zacharias and likely the 05 of Jeff Goodwin along with him as Chris Conrad falls back to fourth. Here comes Gil Sharpstein on the inside. The 6 and 7/8 trying to work his way into the top 5. Right now in the 6th place, but top 5 make it top 4 as Gil has moved up into position number 4. And loss of power. Didn't hear much as Lee Sharpstein is going to be a retiree from this one. Leaving his other brothers to keep it all in the family here tonight. They're running first and fourth. Battle on for second. Boy, does this look familiar? Jeff Goodwin alongside Chris Zacharias. Hold your breath, folks. And Charlie Sharpstein loose off turn number 4, but he maintains the race lead. Zacharias up alongside, trying to get a run off turn number 2. Goodwin right there in third spot and closing in on the back of our race leader. Gil Sharpstein there as well in the 6 and 7/8. Charlie Sharpstein maintains the race lead at lap number 6. Great battle for the lead, and it may go 3 wide here momentarily. Chris trying to take over the second. That almost an instant replay of the prior lap as this fearsome foursome goes to battle here. Chris Zacharias, the only driver running in that outer groove. It sort of worked for him in his heat race, and he's hoping it can sort of work for him in this feature. Not quite able to catch the 34 and make a pass on him. Goodwin sits there in third. Gil Sharpstein in fourth. And you just know Jeff Goodwin wants to thread the needle there, but there just isn't enough room. Chris Zacharias goes high off 4. Might have been room then, but who knew? Charlie Sharpstein hanging on to the inside groove. Zacharias giving him a run for that top spot. Still coming up about a foot short at the stripe, but inching closer. With Goodwin still third, Gil Sharpstein fourth, and Mike Nichols in fifth. Then we got a big gap in Chris Conrad leading that next group of cars with Bob Ripley and Dusty Snell, Jake Snell. Well, if you missed it on lap number 10, that's what it looked like as lap number 11 goes up on the board. And Zacharias that time by with the race lead. Let's see if he can collect the car, hang on to it, and do what he needs to do off turn number 2. He was scored the leader, I believe, of that lap. Charlie Sharpstein staying right with him. And Goodwin goes around, perhaps aided by the car that aided him last week. And set to go for this lap 14 restart. Charlie Sharpstein hoping to reclaim that top spot. Chris Zacharias having no part of it. And he will lead down the back straightaway. Good performance being turned in by Mike Nichols in car number 31. Right behind him, it's Dusty Snell. And here comes Jeff Goodwin in the 05 trying to work his way back up toward the front. Laps remain in this 25-lap street stock feature. Still to come, the ASA late models are nightcap for tonight for their 25-lap show. The winner of this one will draw the winning 50-50 ticket. Zacharias with about a 2-car edge at the stripe with 9 laps to go. Pretty good battle on for 4th spot. Dusty Snell has this position, and Jeff Goodwin looking to the inside. Goodwin in the 05 alongside the Snell number 23. They're going through the corners, 3 and 4. And our leaders still separated by a car length or so as they go into turn number 3. Zacharias leading the way, Chris that is. Charlie Sharpstein trying to get a run on the inside. He's down there. Still holding on to 2nd spot, however. Not able to seal the deal in 1. And he will go back to work over in turn number 2 and down the back straightaway. And an instant replay of the last lap, although a little bit better job of taking over that inside lane on the part of Charlie Sharpstein. These guys are going to take it down to the wire. Charlie seems to have it. Chris gets it back on the top side. What a great battle for the lead. Nichols by himself, and they come together over in 3. Laps to go. And the green is back out. And Jeff Goodwin, the first to turn number 1, and down the back straightaway they go. Mike Nichols still running in 2nd. Ripley has taken over 3rd. Dusty Snell still in 4th, but he's got company as the high five displayed to the field, and there goes RJ Zacharias. Jake Snell, excuse me, but RJ got turned around, and he is up against the outside wall. Track workers only on the track. Track workers only on the track.
Thanks.
How long you been waiting for me, Jeff? Your lifetime, I know.
40 years.
40 years? Anyway, that was a crazy one. I'll tell you, it's right up there. I think that's the reason
Well, a lot of stuff is going on at this racetrack, and I almost gave up and didn't come back. And I'm getting tired of getting taken out every week, and I get real close to them, and they spin me out, you know. So I drove it to the front, and I'll take it, you know.
Well, you only led that one lap, but there's no sense, only 4 cars left, so they shortened it to 20, and you pick up your second win of the year.
The last lap's the only one you got to lead. I want to thank George Kent and Nappy's Body Shop and Fergie's helping me out, and James and his girl, and I'll get them next week.
Through the gears they go. And certainly not the old aggressive wave of the flag. Very predictable when Gary Folk is not going to be happy with the start. And this time they certainly approach it in the right frame of mind. Fisher still getting a little bit of a jump, but not like on the prior attempt, and he will lead down the back stretch. Travis Fisher with about a 3-car advantage over Jim Lamoureux as the field reached turn number 3. Lamoureux trying to close that gap. It's down to 2 on the front straightaway and into the corners. Jerry Deneen hanging on to position number 3 with Scott Nurmi 4th and Joe Brown 5th. Lamoureux cuts that gap down to nothing through the corners, but Travis Fisher's car is hooked up pretty well to the low groove. Lamoureux looking up there in 1 and 2, but not finding enough racing room to get the nose of the 37 up underneath the 8 machine. And sparks are flying from Jerry Deneen's cars. It bottoms out a little bit up there at turn 1. And the battle right now seems to be for position number 4. Scott Nurmi has that spot. Joe Brown looks to the low side, coming off turn number 4. Nurmi's going to slam the door on him while Lamoureux goes back to work on the Fisher number 8. Billy Coyle running solo there in position number 6. Lamoureux closing the gap one more time. He's got the car through the corners, takes a peek to that low side. Just not enough room there to work, but he's got it down to just about a half a foot, the distance between them as they cross the stripe. And Joe Brown, a little chrome horn application to the back of the Scott Nurmi number 20. Joe clearly believing he has a faster car, got to get around it. And Joe Brown on the high side of the racetrack while Scott Nurmi runs the inside. No change up front. 2 laps short of the halfway, 1 lap short now, the halfway point, and We are under caution. That is Lauren Arhoff. Excuse me, it's not him. That's Joe Brown that has spun here. And our hot runners reach that starting spot. And this one may fall into the hands of Mr. Lamoureux, but there's a little bit of contact between the two down the back straightaway. Lamoureux on the top side, Fisher on the low side. There's contact up there between 1 and 2. And Fisher goes on around. Lamoureux falls back to second, make that third. And once out in front, Travis Fisher has been able to put some distance between himself and second place runner Jerry Deneen. Lamoureux running in the third spot. Scott Nurmi fourth, Joe Brown up in fifth, and battle on for position number 6. Arthofer trying to get around the Billy Coyle machine, but Coyle's going to hang on to the spot. Arthofer back there in the 7th position. And the Lamoureux 37 inching closer and closer to the Jerry Deneen number 11. Battle on for position number 2. Lamoureux trying to get a run off turn number 2. Took a peek up there in 3. Thought better of it. And 6 laps away from the conclusion of this one. Nothing much being contested right now with the exception of position number 2. Lamoureux stays about 2 car lengths behind Jerry Deneen in the 11. Fisher with 5 to go. Plum air on the back of the machine, clean air out in front of the car. Jerry Deneen still hanging on to second spot. Lamoureux trying to throw whatever the 37 has at him to take that spot over. It's just a car length maybe that separates them. Well, folks, Travis Fisher is being assessed a 1-position penalty. So the leader of the race right now is the 11 of Jerry Deneen. And scratch that. Three laps remaining. I guess we can believe the scoreboard, and that's true. And Travis Fisher flying off turn number 2. Scott Nurmi in second, Joe Brown up to third. Lamoureux trying to dice his way back up at least into the top 5. The twin sticks are up in the air. 2 laps to go. Fisher, Nurmi, Brown. Billy Coyle in fourth. And Travis Fisher, former track champion here, first appearance of the year. We've only had 2 ASA late model races, and this is the second one of the year. He's going to go through turns 3 and 4. And the win goes to Travis Fisher. And Travis is getting his picture taken, and the family and everybody's gathered there, and this old woman's just making her way. Travis, I've been making people wait all night here down at Victory Lane. I wasn't even aware of it, but you were assessed a one-spot penalty for the incident with Jim Lamoureux up there that got you with the lead. But when the caution came out, he was involved in it, so you actually retained the lead. Had it not been that way, you would have been put a spot back. I just wanted to clarify that. A little bit confusing, but it was a good run anyway.
Yeah, it was a good run. We had a good car. Me and Jim get together a lot. We're both really hard-nosed racers and never want to give an inch. And we, got together down there, and, he beat me on the start a little bit, but I was able to hang in there. And, we were both sideways coming through both corners, and I just come out ahead.
That you did, but once in front, you were able to pull away from a little bit, and he actually lost a couple more spots. But I know your dad Larry's here, and others that I recognize from the old Evergreen days, so who else do you want to thank?
Well, I got to thank all my sponsors, Ed's Plumbing and Heating, National Auto Exchange, Joey Hutta, Plum Air, Morgantini Race Engines for the good power, and all my crew, my pop, my dad, Ed, George, Matt, Greg, Michaela, Matt, Derek, Gary, Pop, just everybody that comes with me. Sorry if I forgot anybody. Misty for sure, my girlfriend, and that's it.
Well, it's a good thing they're all gone. But anyway, there's nobody here to cheer for you right now but your winner, Travis Fisher.